Everyone knows that hotels often skip the number 404. They say it S because 404 means room not found. A little inside joke for the computer geeks, right? But at the old Grand Riverton Hotel, that joke is no laughing matter. Here, room 404 appears only one night every year, and those who enter, they never check out. This is the story of the last guest who saw it, alive. Our story begins with Daniel, a weary traveler whose flight was delayed by a raging storm. When he finally stumbled into the Grand Riverton, the lobby was cavernous and empty, echoing with the sound of rain lashing against the windows. The night receptionist, a gaunt figure with hollow eyes, handed him a key to room 403. It was at the end of a long, dark hallway. "Your room is just next to the wall," the receptionist said, a little too pointedly. As Daniel trudged down the corridor, the air grew colder. He found his door, 403, right next to a solid, unbroken stretch of floral wallpaper. But something was wrong. A fresh scratch marred the wall, a long, deep gash, almost like someone had tried to carve a doorway into the plaster. And then he heard it, a faint, rhythmic knocking, tap, tap, tap. It seemed to be coming from the other side of the wall. But there was no room there, just a wall. Daniel, exhausted, dismissed it as his mind playing tricks on him and fell into a fitful sleep. He was jolted awake by two distinct sounds that cut through the storm. Click, creak. The unmistakable sound of an old lock turning and a heavy door swinging open. He got out of bed, his heart pounding, and peered through his peephole. He saw nothing. Slowly, he opened his own door and stepped into the hallway. And he froze. Where the blank wall had been just hours before, a door now stood. A dark, black wooden door with a rusted, tarnished number plate, 404. The knocking was louder now, more insistent, coming from inside that very room. As he stared, his phone buzzed in his hand. A text message. It read, "Do not open the door. Reception," but a quick glance showed the message wasn't from the hotel's official number. It was from an unknown sender, but against his better judgment, against every primal instinct screaming at him to run, curiosity won. His hand, trembling, reached out and grabbed the cold brass doorknob. He turned it. The door swung inward with a low groan, revealing the room beyond, and what he saw made his blood run cold. Inside, sitting on the edge of a dusty, unmade bed, was himself, a perfect copy, wearing the same clothes, with the same tired expression, staring blankly at the floor. The room was a wreck. The wallpaper was peeling in damp strips, and the air was thick with the smell of mold and decay. It looked like it had been abandoned for decades. Daniel whispered, his voice barely audible, "Are you okay?" The copy slowly, mechanically, lifted its head, but its face was wrong. Horribly wrong. There were faint stretch marks around its mouth, as if the skin had been pulled too tight. Its eyes were too wide, devoid of any light, and its skin was a sickly, pale white. Then it smiled, A smile that was not human, stretching impossibly far, splitting its face in a grotesque grin. "You came back," it rasped, its voice a dry, cracking whisper. "I've been waiting." Daniel stumbled backward in sheer terror, his mind reeling. The thing on the bed stood up, its joints cracking and popping with each unnatural movement, and began to walk toward him. Daniel scrambled to get away, but it was too late. The heavy door to room 404 slammed shut behind him with a deafening boom. He spun around, grabbing the handle, twisting and pulling with all his might. It was locked, trapped. A cold whisper breathed into his ear from behind. "Everyone who checks in twice." Daniel's terrified gaze fell upon a dusty guest logbook lying open on the nightstand. He could see a list of names, each one entered twice. The first signature was always neat and clear. The second was a distorted, spidery scrawl, as if written by a hand shaking with unimaginable fear. He scanned down the page until he found the last entry. His own name, Daniel Reed, check-in number 1. And right below it, Daniel Reed, check-in number 2. An icy cold hand gripped his shoulder. Daniel screamed, and everything went dark. The next morning, at precisely 7 a.m., a housekeeper pushed her cart down the fourth-floor hallway. She hummed a quiet tune as she passed room 403. The wall beside it was solid again. Smooth, floral wallpaper with no door, no room, no trace of 404. But if you looked closely, you could see a new, fresh scratch on the surface, as if something, or someone, had been clawing at it from the other side. Miles away, down at the reception desk, the hotel's digital system pinged with an update. "New guest registered, Daniel Reed, room 404. But, of course, room 404 didn't exist today, and it won't exist again until this exact night next year, when it appears someone else will hear the knocking, and someone else will be curious. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy stories that linger in the dark, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.